Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We back on it. What's up, my peeps? What y'all got going on out there? What y'all got going on out there? I've been hearing that some people still getting snow. Still getting snow out there. Here in Florida though. We back up to the 70s. It was in the high 60s yesterday. I think it was like 68, 69. And today, it's supposed to be in the mid 70s. If y'all watch my video, the one where I was talking about the one at the new house that I just picked up last week, I said we had certain parts of the city or certain parts of the state that had snow, and by next week, which is this week, we'll be in the 70s. And sure enough, we are in the 70s. Even right now, I think it's like 58, maybe 62. Shouts out to everybody that's still dropping content, regardless of the fact. I would have been dropping myself, but I was moving. So I moved Saturday, and Sunday it was cleaning. Well, not cleaning, but unpacking. Monday was unpacking. Yesterday, unpacking. So it's like every day we've been unpacking. So I'm actually behind on my route, but walk with me. I'm actually behind on my route, but it'll be all right. It ain't nothing growing right now, so it's not like it's a big deal. It's not like it's a big deal. I went to one of my yards before I got over here, and the grass was a golden brown. I was like, man, it ain't nothing to do over here. I could have sprayed weeds. They probably had a couple of weeds in the beds, but it wasn't nothing too serious. Like, it wasn't nothing too serious. For the most part, though, I'm just floating through my city. Follow me. I'm just floating through my city. For those of you wondering, which probably ain't nobody, but I'm gonna put you in my business anyway. Man, my new apartment. The new apartment is so nice. I've never been in an apartment as nice as this one. Meaning features, not layout. Like, my wife can decorate a house and make a house look like the best thing you ever seen. But follow me. What I'm saying is, the features. So the last apartment complex, I'm gonna just show you the contrast and living at this point. So the last apartment complex that we were staying in, it was off of a service road. Now I don't know if whoever is watching this knows about service roads, but or even have service roads in your city. But in my opinion, service roads are just a breeding ground for criminal activity. It's just my opinion. every service road might not be the same. Just my opinion. But the service road in which, or service roads, plural, in which we have here in Jacksonville, Florida, just seem like a breeding ground for criminal activity. And it don't matter what side of town you're on. I mean, it just does not matter. So I had a buddy of mine that was staying on a service road in an area called Arlington. And so Arlington is not the best area, but it's not the worst. His apartment got broken into, his car got broken into. He didn't know the people. He didn't know who it was. It's just one of those things. So I live off, well, this last apartment was off of a side of town called the South Side. Actually, it was Southside Boulevard. And so this is a more affluent neighborhood, side of town. It's not like we're living in the hood, but we lived on the service road. So the service road in which we lived in wasn't too far from an interstate and other major highways and stuff like that, right? So when we was looking at the apartment, I was telling my wife, I'm like, I don't really like this spot. I don't really like it because I just feel like it's too open. Like I live off of a major highway called Beach Boulevard. And this is basically on the south side as well. Basically. And it's a pretty established neighborhood. I mean, you know, side of town. But in that apartment, they wound up putting up a gate, closing everything off, making everything feel a little bit more luxurious. So, okay, this apartment complex, when I looked at it, just coming from the apartment complex that we came from, off of Beach Boulevard, follow me, I'm like, man, this is kind of like a step down for where we are currently staying. But when we moved, it was during the pandemic. And so everything had done picked up. Rent was higher, cost of living was higher, everything was higher. And so, follow me. And so we had to move out of the apartment that we were staying in because, you know, our lease was up. And then they were going up so much for the apartment. And the apartment was small. It was a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So my wife was like, man, for the amount of money that we're gonna be paying for this, we might as well move somewhere else and see if we can get a bigger space. And so I was like, well, that makes sense. So started looking around and we found the space that we were just in. We just moved out of. And the actual space was way nicer. I mean, it was way nicer. It was big. It had the tall ceilings, spacious. Like, it was just nicer. It was just a nicer apartment. So my wife was like, well, let's get this. I'm like, man, it's a nice apartment. I don't really like the area. I don't really like how the setup is, specifically because it's open. It's no gates. It's on the service road. I'm like, I don't really like it. All right, long story less long, because I know I'm probably dragging it. And y'all probably like, man, okay, get to the point. Long story less long. My wife's car got broken into twice. Man, we stayed out there 3 years and the car got broken into twice. We witnessed, like literally witnessed, somebody breaking into an apartment next door to us. I mean, like literally next door to us. So, man, it was so much stuff that was going on. It was like, wow, man, like, man, we're spending all this money and there's no security. As a matter of fact, they had a police officer that stayed out there in the complex. He went about nothing. It was a incident with my daughter. She was at the pool and somebody from a different neighborhood she got into it with, and my daughter is like, she's kind of like a homebody. Like, she really don't have to go outside. Hold on, I'm trying to find a spot that ain't blinding. But she doesn't really go outside. So my wife and I was trying to encourage her, you know, to go outside more, you know, go outside. So, man, my daughter goes outside with one of her classmates that lived out there. And some boys from the apartment complex behind us was out there. And so her and the boy started arguing. And the boy slams my daughter. Like, my gosh, man. Like, so there was so much stuff that was going on at these apartments. And again, this is an established, you know, somewhat affluent area, mixed neighborhood. So I'm like, man, boy, when this lease is up, I'm ready to go. We'll have to find us somewhere else. So our lease is getting ready to be up. My wife, she started looking for other apartments. And so we find the apartment that we just moved into. Immediately when I see the apartment, I say, this is the one. This is the one right here. I'm like, man, before I even get in and see the actual unit, I'm like, nah, this is it. I'm like, it's nice. It's in a great area. Like, our apartment complex is literally next door to an IKEA. Like literally. You got the IKEA, and then next door to it, you got the apartment complex in which I stay in. Man, this apartment has, it's a gated community. So you got to actually use your gate clicker to get into the community. And where's my, there it is. This is the clicker. Hopefully you can see it, but this is the clicker. So you use this to get into the gate, get into the community. The apartment complex that we just left, they had a gym. Literally, I kid you not. The gym had 3 treadmills, 2 ellipticals. One of the ellipticals didn't work. No, I think it had 1 elliptical. One of them didn't work. That one didn't work. It had 2 bikes that were rusted out. About 4 weights, all different weights. A couple of weight balls, and that was about it. That's what they call their gym. This is what they call their gym. I'm spending $1,800 a month on something so subpar. $1,800 a month. The gym that we're at, the gym at the apartment complex in which we live in now, is an actual gym. Like, man, it looks like a mini Planet Fitness. Man, this gym is so nice, man. This gym is so nice. Like, the gym has actual weights. Like, you know how it is at a regular gym where it's like, man, you got the dumbbells. It has actual a rack of dumbbells. They got 4 or 5 treadmills. They got like 2 or 3 bikes. They got a spa. I'm like, man, man, listen. Everything is smart. So it's a smart apartment. You got a key. Well, to open your front door, it's the app that you use, and it's so sweet because it's like, man, you could be out in an apartment. I mean, you could be out in the parking lot and go on your app and hit unlock, and your door will be unlocked for you for when you get in there. The apartment is nice. We had a patio. The patio was probably about 10 foot. Yeah, probably about 10 to 12 feet long, and maybe 4.5 to 5 feet wide. Wasn't a big patio at all. The patio that we have now is like a master bedroom. So I kid you not, like, we had a storage area. The storage area was like 1 foot by maybe 2 feet. 2 feet, 2 feet wide by a foot. No, 2 feet, 2 feet long by 1.5 to 2 feet. It's probably 3 by 2. 3 feet long by 2 feet wide, because it's like a rectangle. Man, the storage area that we have in the patio now is the size, almost the size of the actual is almost the size of the actual patio for the last place. I'm like, man. So it's just a different experience. And I know I'm probably mumbling, but rambling on, but it's just a different experience, man. It really is. So And don't get me wrong, like I'm not complaining about my old apartment. It's just an observation. It's like, man, spending $1,800 a month, almost $2,000 a month on a apartment that, man, y'all just letting anybody into seem like, because like I say, one of my neighbors, my next door neighbor, his apartment got broken into. And I'm literally, me, my wife, and my daughter are literally coming up the stairs while they are robbing the place, trying to break into the place. They had a crowbar. It was a group of guys. And they're literally breaking into the place. I mean, like kicking on the door. And so when I come up the stairs, they like, oh yeah, oh, what's up, bro? I'm like, what's up? I might go out of focus for a second. They like, yo, man, what's up, man? So they act like they on the phone with the guy. They like, man, where you at, man? Man, come open the door. Come on, man. Come open the door. So I'm like, wow. You guys are literally robbing the place. And I'm guessing that the guy was a drug dealer or something. That's what I'm guessing, because they came specifically to his apartment, and he just moved out there. So it wasn't like this was just a random act. It's like, nah, this was planned. The guy was quiet, never had any problems out of him, never even knew when he was home. To that particular day, I'm like, man, yeah, $1,800 for this. Yeah, something is wrong. Then I tell the dude, I'm like, hey, man, because he went home at the time. So I tell him when he get home, like, hey, and I seen the people who broke into your apartment. I'm like, yeah, they went up in there. So he was like, man, you ain't call the police? I'm like, yeah, I called them. They're like, what happened? I'm like, they never showed. And literally, they never showed. Like, I went in the apartment, went in my house, and I'm like, man, because I know what's going on, I got to get my family out of here. So it's like, I told my wife, I'm like, man, let's go. Let's go. I actually came back out to the apartment from working. So I still had my trailer. I still had my lawn equipment. Still had everything on the truck. And so what I was getting ready to do was drop my wife and my daughter off, and then go and put my stuff up in the storage. And so after all of that started going on, I'm like, man, y'all just ride with me, because I dare not leave y'all in harm's way. So I'm like, yeah, y'all just ride with me, man. And on the way going to the storage, my wife called the police, told them what was going on. Police didn't show up until the next day. Dang. Then, like I say, my wife's truck kept getting broken into. The first time they broke into it, and they was just like rambling, like just trying to like see what was in there, steal like money or change, or any type of like valuables. That was the first time. The second time that they came in, they broke the back windshield. I mean the back window. They busted the back window, and They was trying to actually steal the truck because my wife has a Kia Sportage. And so for a while, the Kia Sportage is, well, Kias in general, they were getting broken into and they were able to pop the collar on them and steal them, drive them. And so my wife had just took the truck up there and got it fixed because it was like a recall. So it was a security feature. Follow me. It was a security feature, and my wife actually had just taken it up there to get that actual security feature fixed. Probably about a month or so before everything happened. So literally, that was the only reason why they wasn't able to take it, but they bust out the window. And so we had to get that replaced, and then we had to pay rent. It was like they broke the window on like the 1st or the 30th or something like that, and we had to pay rent on the 1st. I was like, man, come on, man. Police couldn't do anything because obviously they ain't gonna be able to find the people who did it. It's like, you know, they ran gloves. So, but yeah, man, I'm extremely happy for where we are now. I feel like the gate is gonna deter people. The area itself is gonna deter people. Not saying that it can't happen or that it won't happen. I'm just saying, like, it's a little bit more unlikely that it will happen, just because of the area in which we are living in at this point. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. But we still got to get to it. We still got to get to it. I really got to get out here and grind at this point. But that's why I hadn't dropped any videos, because I was helping my wife unpack, helping her put pictures up and all of the other little googly stuff that you do when you first move into a new place. And so I was like, man, I really wanted to give her that time, dedicate that time to her, because she deserves it. You know, we both work hard, and she helps me out a lot. So it's like, man, that's the least I can do for my wife, is help her out. So that's what I was doing, man. Trying to be a good husband to my wife, helping her out, not leaving her high and dry to do everything herself, you know. But it took us some time, which is good, because it's the colder month, so stuff ain't really growing like that. But anyway, yeah, that's my little update. What I'm gonna do is, follow me. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna walk this yard, finish walking the yard, probably blow off the stuff that I just raked up, clean that up, and then I'll be heading to my next one. So if you haven't already, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the video, or subscribe to the channel, not to the video. Anyway, I'm out.